Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. And hopefully, you all are enjoying your day as much as this girl is. On today's video, we are looking at this foot. She's got a white line problem in this right front foot, and this problem is due to the corkscrew rotation that she has in it. So let's get this foot trimmed up and find the problem. Now, when you're trimming a normal foot, the majority of the horn you're going to remove is going to be toward the toe section, and that's simply due to wear, but it's going to be distributed evenly across that toe. When you have a corkscrew rotation, that's different. What you have is actually an accumulation of horn toward the inner part of the claw and down toward the toe as well. And that's why you'll notice here when I trim, I'm taking nothing off on that abaxial wall, that outside wall up near the top. I'm not removing any horn. All of the horn that I'm removing is on the inner part of that claw and then more towards down by the toe. That's going to help correct that rotation that's in that claw. The primary goals when trimming for me are to maintain good heel depth, create a good foot angle, and to create a uniform sole thickness across that foot. You'll be able to see that once we get this trimmed up a little bit. You'll be able to see exactly that uniformity in that sole. Now that we've got that foot trimmed up, let's start addressing the source of her discomfort. I get questions a lot regarding how do I know how much horn to remove or how much horn is there? And basically, it comes down to feel when it comes to these feet. You can see here when I'm trimming the foot as far as sole depth, I'm looking for uniformity when I'm trimming that foot. So I'm not necessarily aiming to get a specific sole depth. I don't want to go less than 1/4 of an inch, but what I'm looking for is uniformity between the claws and in the claws when I'm trimming it. That could mean the sole could be 1/4 of an inch. It could be 1/2 of an inch thick. When it comes to trimming lesions, I'm simply following the margins of the loose horn, and I'm able to do that with the hook of my knife, as you saw there. That knife slides up underneath the detached horn, and I'm able to pull slightly away from the foot and remove that without affecting that underlying corium. As I zoom in here after I clean this up a bit, you're going to be able to see that uniformity in that sole thickness that I trimmed earlier, and you're going to be able to see exactly how deep that sole is on this particular foot. So earlier, as I was talking about uniformity, you're gonna be able to see that here. Across that claw, front to back and side to side, we got about 1/2 of an inch actually on this foot of sole depth. That's more than enough to provide not only support for that foot and protection from that corium, but also protection from anything that might happen from the outside in. The only thing I got to really do now with this foot is I'm going to model this out a little bit, because that rotation, what it's doing is it's allowing a lack of wear and an accumulation of horn over time toward the inner part of that foot that's contributing to that corkscrew. So these are the cases when I model, just to prevent any more of that from happening, or the likelihood of that happening. It takes away the resistance there that helps that corkscrew to return, I should say. And I'm also just going to thin out that you can see here, I'm thinning out these margins, kind of sloping these margins just so they're not so up and down here. And that way it's going to allow for less areas for stuff to pack in. It's going to be more of a smooth transition to that foot. In the end, once we trim it all out, after this lesion is healed, it'll all be uniform once again anyway. Now I'm just prepping that foot. I'm going to get a block on that other claw to take the weight off this injured one. This particular foot, because of the way that it's trimmed and because I've got such good heel depth around, or sole depth, I should say, around that lesion, this would heal probably without a block. This block is more for comfort. It's going to take the weight off of that injured one and just give it some time and some rest without putting weight on it. We'll give you one last zoom in here so you can see all I've really done is just kind of shaped and modeled and sloped these edges of the trimmed out area. And like I said, once we give her final trim after this lesion's healed, it will be trimmed uniform again. That modeling simply done in this case because of the corkscrew. Now all she needs is a salicylic acid wrap just to take care of any bacteria that might be present on that lesion, and she's good to go. We'll send her on her way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. As always, thanks for watching, and I'm going to leave you today with that heifer playing with those straw bales. See you on the next one, guys.
What are you doing? Are you goofy? You being goofy? What are you doing?